Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here leading a delegation from East Africa. And I would like to thank you, Chairman, for honoring our invitation at a very short notice. This shows the importance that you are attached to the East African countries. I have with me the delegation from the East African Grain Council, and I would like to introduce them to the congregation. Please, Gerard. I have Gerard Masila, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Eastern African Grain Council. I have with me Samuel Ruto, who is the Manager, Structured Trade Systems. Then I have with me a very potential, renowned trader in Nairobi, Kenya, called Isaac Njuguna. Also accompanying me is the team from the International Trade Center. I have Aman and Co. Then I have also a renowned trader from Tanzania, Sabrina Meherali. I would like to inform you that we had a very fruitful meeting in New Delhi where we had a discussion with the ITC, which has brought to you or has brought a program to cement the relationship between the East African countries and India, called a project called Supporting Indian Trade and Investment for Africa. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we had a very peaceful discussion and fruitful discussion in New Delhi. And when we informed your chairman, he quickly accepted our invitation and gave us a honor to come and address you on very potential issues that pertains to trade relations between India and East Africa, or Africa in general. To set the ball rolling, I'm here to introduce to you two key organizations that will enable us to foster this relationship. The first organization is the Eastern African Grain Council, which has the vision to be the leading voice of grain trade in Africa. And it's our mission as the Eastern African Grain Chairman is that we have to provide an enabling environment in Africa to promote structured grain trading system and give the optimum benefit to the stakeholders. When I'm talking here of the stakeholders, it means to advocate for the enabling environment. And when we talk of the environment, we are talking of policies that enable the East African countries to trade with India. We are talking of production to enable us produce goods that meet your standards and requirements. We are talking of requirements that promote exports and imports of technologies between the two countries. We are also talking of stakeholders like the consumers in India, the politicians who will enable us develop policies that can promote this trade. Now, the Eastern African Grain Council is present in 10 countries. And these countries are Ethiopia, and I know you are already trading with Ethiopia. So that means we will have a good relationship there. South Sudan, Uganda, Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, and Zambia. So those are the 10 countries. But the vision, as I've told you, we want to be African-wide, so that we can represent the African voice in this trade. Now, when we talk of pulses, the key definitions is we are talking of oil crops, we are talking of grains, and we are talking of pulses and spices. Now, the role of the East African Grain Council is to facilitate trade of all the commodities which I've mentioned above, and then also to facilitate the harmonization of this trade within the Eastern African region by setting policies that will foster this trade. I've already had the key issues which are pertinent in this trade. The previous speakers have mentioned issues of free trade, of free market, and those are the issues that the Eastern African Grain Council will discuss with you, or will discuss with associations like the IPGA and other relevant government bodies. We also do capacity building of the stakeholders to enable us achieve the quality of the products that we need, and also to provide market information to the various stakeholders. I've talked about the grains that we deal with already in my definition. And then the initiative, why the East African Grain Council? The key thing is we want to foster trade between the two countries. And in our setup, we do structured trading system. And with me already, I have an officer which can help structure trade relationships and how we can trade between India and the East African countries in a more harmonious and more professional way. We also do agricultural intelligence, where we get researchers to provide information to the members. And with close collaboration with organizations like IPGA, we will be able to share information that will promote trade in the two countries or the two regions. We also handle the issues of standards. The previous speakers have already mentioned the importance of phytosanitary inspections and so on. So the East African Grain Council have set in systems that enables the goods that are supposed to be exported to be inspected, and then ensure that those goods qualify to the phytosanitary requirements of the different countries where it will be exported. So all those are the key things, initiatives that the East African Grain Council does. On top of this, we do policy advocacy with government bodies, political leaders, to ensure that an enabling environment is provided to enable trade flow between the two countries. The second important organization, which I'm here to introduce to you today, is CETA, is the ITC, which is here to implement the CETA project. The CETA is an organization set to support India to trade with Africa, and also to enable Indian investors, entrepreneurs to invest in Africa. So you can see the two win-win situation that will enable us promote this trade in East Africa. And the key aim of CETA is to enable us build value chains right from the farmer up to the table of the consumer. So that means right from the farm, the traders, and also the transporters, the freight forwarders, and so on, this value chain should be built to enable that we foster a more smooth trading from the farmer right to the consumer. CETA will enable the East African countries to market their product to India. Not only that, it will also, the other way around, enable the Indian investors to also market their goods to Africa. Because in Africa, we need technology that will enable us to produce the goods that you need. We need items like tractors, we need food processing equipment, we need transport equipment, and all these will be linked between the two countries to foster competitiveness in whatever we are doing. At the moment, CETA will be implementing its project in the 3 East African countries. That is Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania. But other East African countries like Uganda and Rwanda are also inclusive in the key commodities that we deliberated upon yesterday, and pulses is one of the most important commodity top on the agenda. And we felt that before we leave India and we go back home, we have to give this message to you so that you can tap into the CETA project and also into the commodities that the East African countries will produce. Pulses have been chosen under the CETA project because of the marketability of the pulses to India and the importance of pulses as a food nutrient and as a food security crop. And basically, I'm not going to dwell deep in that because the previous speakers have talked about it. It is of great relevance to both the Eastern African countries and to you, India, to fill the gaps that you have in terms of the food requirements. Now, the opportunities that you have in these member countries. One, Ethiopia, you're already trading with them. There is the chickpeas, you call it chana. And they can be produced, got from Ethiopia. You have the dry peas, which can be also got from Ethiopia. And this, as the trading which you have been doing with Ethiopia, has enabled them to triple their production. And on that basis, we are here to ensure that other African countries also increase their production to meet the demand that you have in India. Tanzania also is trading with you, and you have 2 key companies. I think the lady there is one of your potential suppliers. Meherali, can you stand up? And they see you and you get more markets from these people. You know the lady? Supplying very good products in terms of peas to India here. There is also Export Trading Group. There is the Olam countries, which is also already supplying to you. But we want to see that this level or volume of trading increases. Kenya, there is still low levels, but we are here to ensure that we increase the production and supply and the volumes to India. That's why I have Mr. Isaac Njuguna to ensure that we achieve exactly that. India will be, I think, our largest market. You know, when we were coming, we never expected that we'll have this kind of reception and the kind of market that we are seeing today. It will be, I think, one of our top market for the East African countries. And we will ensure that we cement this relationship with you. Of course, you have other countries like Myanmar, Canada, and so on. But I will delve into that later on. So the impact, the expected impact is the duty-free zone which we are going to have, which will enable you to get more income. Somebody already talked about the free market, and they are, you know, they are not sure whether government will slap, taxes on imports or duties on imports and so on. So I think the CETA is here to ensure that some of those issues are addressed. Linkage with the East African research to ensure that we produce good products that meet your quality will also be addressed. So IPGA will be our collaborating partners in this trade with the East African Grain Council to ensure that we achieve that impact which I've talked about, to ensure that we increase the volumes, we also increase the incomes to both the Indian investors, Indian traders, and entrepreneurs that are here present. And also to ensure that we meet the gap in terms of production which you have today. Now, I give you a case study. Me also, I'm a member of the East African Grain Council. I'm a farmer, I'm a producer, I'm also a trader. So in this study, Farmer Center works with close to 10,000 farmers. And on average, these farmers have about 4 acres. So taking mathematically, that means about 6,000 metric tons can be produced per season in one particular locality. But in my area alone, I come from a place called Lira, northern Uganda, where all these pulses come from. Already I met a brother here who was in Lira. Where are you? Can you put your hand? He's there. And I believe there are others who are in Lira. So this is an opportunity also for me to meet you and also say, please come back home. We are still there, safe and sound. Forget those past histories. We are now very friendly and accommodative people. So Lira, we do extension to the farmers. And in Uganda, the range of pulses is enormous. Uganda in particular. So you can see there we have yellow beans, we have red cowpeas, we have yellow cowpeas, we have white cowpeas, chickpeas also grows there. We have pigeon peas, we have soya bean, white, the other one is what? White speckle beans, white beans, red, that one should have been red. Red speckle beans, and then the other one, you call it the green one, green grams. You call it what? Mung beans. And you know what mung means in my language? Yeah? Mung in my language. Very healthy to eat. And if you want to know, in my language, healthy to eat, if you want to know the secret of health, you eat what? Mung beans. So that means we are talking the same language. It's only these geographical barriers that separated us. Then we have what you are calling there the light red kidney beans, and then we have chia. Who knows chia here? Yes? Chia, yeah? Chia is also a very, what is it? Yeah, chia is a very healthy food which has omega-3. And if the researchers are here and you have not known the secret of chia to health, then this is an opportunity for you to start the research now. And you know the secret of chia. Now, those products which I've put there, you see me, I grew up eating these lentils, what? And the secret is, if I tell you I'm now over 50 years, can you believe? So if you want to stay young and healthy, eat what? Eat pulses. So, ladies and gentlemen, the farming technologies that we use has been given to us by nature, was given to us by God. And I give you, and you see the maize there. You see the maize on the picture. Can somebody tell me, did they use fertilizer or not? It is organic. And in my culture, they say, in East Africa, it is a place where you can plant a stone and it grows into a mountain. That is, they say. So you can see the health factors that you get organically grown, no fertilizers, no chemicals on it. So those are the key factors that we have in terms of potential for the production of these commodities. Now we have developed technologies to ensure that we may enhance quality of the products. There I was receiving the grain storage facility that we should be on the farm so that we meet the quality that you need. Then also we do large-scale production. That is a sorghum farm that has been done on a large scale. And then the health of the crop, you can see, no fertilizer, no chemical, no nothing, just given by nature. I was there inspecting and visiting those farmers on their sorghum fields. So you can see the sorghum head there. Do you have that kind of sorghum head here in China? Do you use fertilizer? Yeah, but that one is organically grown, no fertilizer. Then in terms of export, good infrastructure, that is my storage facility in Lira, and that's a truck that is loading consignment to Mombasa, Kenya. Good infrastructure in terms of road, that will enable us to ship the consignment right from the rural areas up to Mombasa. So that was a truck which we had loaded, ferrying goods to Mombasa. Good storage and warehousing. That one is the warehouse that belongs to Isaac Njoguna in Nairobi. So the stock is already there for you. So those who need it, please, after our meeting, you can approach Isaac Njoguna and you talk. The grain storage facility for government, which can enable us to store the tonnage that you need. And then also that is a storage facility, warehouse storage facility in Kenya. And then in this partnership, we would like to ensure that we work hand in hand. That is the main reason why we are here. We work hand in hand with IPGA to ensure that we promote the development of pulses grain value chain. And also to ensure that we meet with you, the Indian buyers, the Indian traders, and get your expectations. And once we have gotten your expectation, then we see how to meet it. It has already been mentioned that by 2030, you need 32 million metric tons of pulses. And that by 2030, you are going to have a population of 1.68 billion people. And the gap that you will have in terms of land is 6 million hectares. The only way you can bridge this gap is to tap the land, the virgin land that we have in East Africa, that we have in Uganda, that we have in Ethiopia, that we have in Tanzania. Because the population is increasing but the land acreage, according to your statistic, will remain stagnant. So we call upon you that this is the time for us to forge a fruitful relationship between the East African countries and our Indian partners. And this is the time that we can scale up the trade between the East African countries and our Indian partners. And this is the time we can forge a relationship to enable us improve on our health, to improve on our nutrition. And this is the time to enable you eat pulses and stay young. Dan Yavada.